Okay, so today we're going to be tying a classic March brown pattern. I'm going to be tying it in a traditional catskill pattern today, kind of going back to my roots. I grew up fishing the catskills, so I've been using this fly my whole life. I've caught countless fish on it. Some of my biggest fish I've caught on a catskill brown March. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to start with a Daiichi size 14 dry fly hook, just your standard dry fly hook. I'm going to start with a tan 6/0 uni thread. So you can go ahead and start your threads about 2 ounce lengths behind the eyelet. Okay, and then for the wings, I'm going to take a mallard flank. You can either do a mallard or a wood duck flank. I like the mallard flank for this one because it's a little bit like grayer. And the thing I like about that is it's going to stick out from your brown hackle a little bit more. Instead of doing like a brown wing that'll kind of blend in with your hackle, this will stick out just a little more, give it a nicer look. I've got my mallard flank fibers. I'm going to take and you can kind of line it up with the shank. That's what I like to do. Go ahead and start your ties, your threads right there. And I'm only going to do it up to about 3 eyelets lengths behind the eyelet. See how much room I got there? That's what you want. Might even just do one less. See how much room I got there? That's what you want. It'll give you good room for your hackle, your tie off, and your other dubbing without slipping any in front of your eyelet, which of course will give you issues when you go to tie your fly on. Then I'll go ahead and just snip it down, and you can see how I'm kind of tapering it down. That'll give you that natural tapered body as we go down the fly. Okay, the last thing I need to do on the body is just go ahead and add your tail. So I'm going to take, it's like a beautiful, the natural cinnamon hackle. I'm just going to go ahead and take a long hackle strand. And you can see the size of those fibers on there. I'm going to go ahead and take a little pinch of fibers. You'll get about maybe 4 or 5 in there. Measure it up to the size of the shank. Go ahead and tie it on. Just like that, you got 3 or 4 sticking off the back. I like doing usually more than 2, just because then it gives you a little more surface area. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to build my body up just a little bit before I go ahead and put my dubbing on. Back down to the tail. And you can kind of see I leave a little bit of thread behind the tail there. That's just to kind of keep that tail up and off the water. It gives it a really nice look when it's in the water. You can see once you cast it in there. So I'm going to take a super fine dubbing. I'm just going to take a really, really tiny pinch just to cover a very tiny bit of the thread. Since it is the same color of the thread, we're not looking at it for the color, we're looking at it for the float. Okay, and I'm just going to stop about an eyelet length behind the wing. And before I go ahead and do my hackle, you can see how fat I got that body. That's what you're looking for. That's what I want. I'm going to go ahead and take my wings. I'm just going to split my wings in half. And you can go ahead and just do some figure 8s through that split wing. And you can go ahead and take your hackle. In this case, I'm going to take like a size 12, just a little bit smaller than the hook. Now you can go ahead and wrap your hackle. I'm not going to put any dubbing there so it doesn't slip. Okay, now that I got my hackle done there, go ahead and trim that piece off. Make sure your wings are still sticking up. If you wet your wings, it'll kind of pinch them together a little more, and it's basically what's going to show you what it's going to look like on the river. And now, I got my hackle tied off there. I can go ahead and do my whip finish. Go ahead and add that to your box.